not fucking going anywhere. You have to take me out in a body bag or handcuffs. I've been to jail. I'm not scared, and especially when I know haven't done anything wrong. They take their municipal ordinances and shove them up their ass.
Anchorouts are people who live aboard vessels that reside anchored in open waters. In the 1950s, the anchorouts were a vital piece of Sausalito's once accepting community.
It was like a place where you could be an individual on your own, sovereign.
And I went down to the street. I saw the clouds coming.
People in Belvedere and Tiburon and the Audubon Society, all those people conspired together to get rid of the anchorouts.
Well, it's the haves versus the have-nots. They don't want to look at us out here. I don't know. Maybe don't. If you don't want issues with boats, maybe don't build your house in the middle of an anchorage.
The current anchor-out conflict dates back to the 1970s, when government and law enforcement officials imposed regulations on the anchor-out community. Non-compliance led to violence between the two groups, resulting in the ongoing distrust between land and water. In recent years, the influx of wealthy newcomers has caused Sausalito to slip from its hippie and working-class roots. What was once a lifestyle choice to live anchored out is now out of necessity, as the cost of living in Sausalito is 97% higher than the national average. In this new era Sausalito, all that remains of its rugged bohemian past is on the water.
Like everything about living here, this is like the most beautiful place in the world.
There's just something different out here. The connection with nature, the solitude would probably be my top two things that I like. The third would be the sense of community.
Living on the water without that one overhead makes all the difference in the world. So when it changes and I have to pay for the housing and so forth, it just makes it a struggle at that point.
At the peak of the community, there were 200 vessels. Now there are 35, and the next year there will be 0. After failed eviction attempts, followed by years of indifference to their livelihoods, the Bay Conservation Development Commission ordered the harbor master Jim Malcolm to evict every anchor-out living illegally on Richardson Bay.
My name is Jim Malcolm, and my occupation is I serve as the harbor master for the Richardson Bay Regional Agency. So starting in 2018, an effort was established to really go out there, figure out who's on what boat. You were informing them that you couldn't live here. A permit is required. Since then, what has happened is we have all of the unoccupied boats. All of those are gone.
They crushed my son's home, making him homeless. There's no depth to how evil these people weren't even voted in can be.
The main argument in removing the anchor-outs is the eelgrass. There has been a recent influx in eelgrass following the ongoing anchor-out evictions.
Eelgrass is a flowering plant. It's a grass. It provides habitat. When boats anchor, they have to lay out a certain amount of chain so that they can rotate on the tide and they can go up and down with the tide. That chain lays on the bay floor, and it basically acts as a lawnmower, just absolutely destroying any eelgrass that's in that radius.
Okay, so you got eelgrass, and you've got 50 people that live on their boats. It's spread out pretty good. How much eelgrass are they destroying? And what's more important, the eelgrass or people's lives? What's more important? What are they thinking? This is why I say tyranny.
With few housing programs available, it's up to the anchor-outs whether they stand their ground or accept the inevitable. Sausalito has grown, but the anchor-outs have not.
I've seen a lot of changes come about with the anchor-outs. At one point, it seemed like a doable situation, and there was a real understanding with those who lived ashore and those who lived out on the water. And that seemed to deteriorate when we got into the 2020s. And there seemed to become a real disparity amongst those living on the water and those living on shore.
Every place that's amazing to live gets gentrified. I mean, it's just sort of the natural evolution. The piece that goes away is that it's just another removal that makes Sausalito what it is. You know, if you go through and get rid of all those pieces, suddenly the place has no soul, no heart.
A lot of people who live in Sausalito choose it because it's just this really vibrant, creative community. And so when you start taking away some of the quirkiness, then it does become more just, you know, plain and not as interesting.
As the 2024 eviction looms, the anchor outs are placed in an ultimatum. Given the wave of gentrification that has transformed Sausalito, most anchor outs are left grappling with the harsh reality that their unique lifestyle is no longer sustainable in a community that has shifted.
This is the last refuge of low income. It's too bad because there was a space where the people on the edge could go and not have to be homeless. I don't know. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet.
A lot of people out here are locals. They're from here, and they kind of got priced out. And this is where they ended up. You know, it's their backyard. Who wants to be told to leave their home? There's a huge apparent gap here in Marin County, and people doing very well, and people just barely making it, if that. So yeah, there's a divide here. My friend Peter Romanowski, he likes to call them limousine liberals.